calling this building committee to order at 6:37. Mr. Loth, Mr. Borden, Mr. Kinky, myself, all present and accounted for. Agenda revisions and approvals. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the agenda.
Mike? Ray, second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That passes. Approval of the minutes, September 14th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the September 15th meeting minutes.
Second?
Ray and Mike. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. That passes. Reports and updates. Director of Building and Grounds, Capital Projects and Facility Services. Don.
All right, part of my report, the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the Germantown High School. One of the things that they're looking to do is replace the concession stand on the baseball field. Jim Grader from 3 and 2 Booster Club is working with John Stokoyak to replace this, and they will be paying for the entire project. The new stand will remain at the same location, and it will be the same size. As you can tell, John's come up with some good plans on it. Another additional thing that's going to be added to it is going to be rain gutters, and the actual opening is not going to be a roll-up door. It's going to be more of a concession style window. So it's going to have a fold-up door. They found out that the roll-up door was going to be too expensive. Any questions on this?
Nope, sounds good.
Question for the siding material.
The siding on it, he did list it on there, and it is a,
LP Smart Side.
what's that?
LP Smart Side.
Yep, and I checked that, and very happy with it, because that means like next to no maintenance on the whole shed once it's done, our concession stand, so.
Got the pre-finished, is that?
Yep, no painting required. Got aluminum fascia on it and aluminum soffits. So I'm kind of looking towards a nice new concession stand there. The one that's there is presently in pretty bad shape.
Sounds good.
Next, you can see that the LED lights in the hallways have been changed out. Or I should say, the lights in the hallway have been changed out to LED lights. It made a drastic improvement in the visibility and the brightness of all the hallways.
Is that the whole first floor then, or
The whole first floor was able to be done this year.
Nice.
So next year, we'll continue with the rest of the hallways and possibly start with some classrooms, or second floor, I guess, we gotta do yet too.
Very good.
Next item is the pool deck. The repairs that we completed on the pool deck, Lippert Flooring feels that there are still some other underlying issues causing the tile to come loose. C.D. Smith has been contacted to discuss how to move forward and resolve the issue. I did receive an email from Lippert Tile showing the other issues late last week, so that's why it's not included in the packet. If anybody's interested in it, I can forward it to you and you can see what's going on and where the other concerns are.
That'd be great.
Is it a lot of other concerns or a little bit? How would you?
There seems to be some moisture underneath the actual matting that's there for the allow for the movement of the tile. So there's some concerns over that and where that moisture is coming from. Whether it's coming up through the concrete or whether it's finding another way of getting in there.
You could send a copy to me.
Sure. Next on the agenda report is the Amy Bell Nature Center. Amy Bell, principal of Mrs. Cohill, is working with David J. Frank Landscaping on a plan for the Nature Center. This is phase 1, which includes a walking path from the future overflow parking lot to the center, a butterfly garden, and a community garden and planting screenings. Amy Bell does have, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Katie, they have enough funding to start phase 1, which is what this is, in spring.
Yeah, actually, phase 1 is just the butterfly garden and the plantings around the electrical boxes. And then the path could be, there are 3 options of just like mowing a path, doing some kind of mulch, or the expensive one was stone, which we wouldn't probably go that route. But for the butterfly garden plantings and the screen plantings, we have some funds that were donated to us by a parting 5th grade class a few years ago that we waited on because of the construction and trees getting planted. And then we have some grant money that our PTA received from Project NOAA that they've come and presented to before. And without even the donations from David J. Frank, we would be able to fund that. They did say, though, that they most likely will donate some plantings and discount for us. And then the third phase would be a community garden, which would be in the future, similarly to how Rockfield has a garden. That's something that we could do. We have a Girl Scout troop that wants to do the planting for the butterfly garden. And then I contacted the advisor at the environmental club at the high school, and they were happy to help too. All of this would be done in the spring, as obviously it wouldn't be planted now, it wouldn't survive, so. Just letting you know kind of the plans, if there needs to be approval. I have Justin Flynn, he's from David J. Frank. He also offered to come help when we do the planting. Do some things with the kids if we can get our students involved. That would be great, so. Any questions?
No, I think this looks really good. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm just wondering what plantings are going around the electrical boxes?
Yeah, we don't have a list. The first phase was the butterfly garden, so what's attached to your board packet, those are all things that are, when we talked, it was gonna be things that were natural to our area, because we talked a lot about invasive species, then things that we don't have to maintain a lot of. So he doesn't have a specific list, but he has a list of all sorts of things that could be options, so those are all attached there. We haven't chosen anything out of there, but those are the things that he had down that would increase natural wildlife to come over there, and not something that would be, that deer would eat or other animals.
Okay, yeah,
Just-
my concern with the boxes is if they grow big enough to eventually overtake the boxes, that wouldn't be good, because, you know, you need access to the front. And it looked like, according to the drawing, it was done properly.
Yeah, there's a path for access.
Yeah, on the sides and the back, but not the front, so that would be the way to do it. I was just curious if, you know, the plants would be aggressive enough to grow around the front side also, you know, would be
He came out
bad.
to look at the area, so he knows exactly what, you know, what it is. We thought it was a good idea to try to keep the kids away from there and have something
Sure.
around it.
Anyone else? This looks really good. I mean, it's a plan that we can look at and visualize, and you figured out how to pay for it. That's exactly what we're looking for. You did a nice job. I think if anyone has no objection, we can say go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Looks real good.
The next thing I have on there is the actual overflow parking lot. The Village of Richfield did ask for a rough sketch of the proposed area of the overflow parking lot. They wanted to know the dimensions and everything so that they could determine on what if we have to do anything for water retention. Based on the dimensions that we have given them, it sounds like we won't have to do anything with it because it's under an acre. So with that, I'm keeping my fingers crossed and keep waiting to hear back from them shortly.
Just for budget purposes, it looks like that traffic bond is holding up very well. Is there any reason we can't use it as an overflow parking lot as is and not do anything with it for a while?
I don't see any reason we couldn't.
I mean, it still has the culvert in, and it has a driveway, and, you
Yep.
know, it's not blocked off in any way. I mean, it's obviously could be used. So my thought on it is, rather than spend the money now, which we don't have, wait until down the road if we want to pave it. As long as we don't have to do the retention pond either, that helps, but it's still a pretty considerable expense putting all the blacktop down.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, I don't
said,
see any reason why we
the traffic
can't.
bond's holding up really well.
What about with plowing though for the traffic bond?
Plows pretty well.
They'll just have to be careful going over it.
That's what I'm getting at.
If you have the right plow, it shouldn't be a problem.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I guess right now, this year, it isn't a priority, I would say, because we don't have parents in the building, so we don't have the issues that we've had in the past where cars are parking on the street. We don't because we don't have visitors.
Yeah, there's no,
In the past, I should say, when we do have something happening, like a concert or something, or during the day, field trip, we do have people parked there. I would say, overall, it's held up. I mean, there are some spots that get low that the concerns in the winter, you don't see those, but right now, it's not an issue because we don't have people coming, so.
okay.
I think we should revisit in a year and if we get the okay to pave without a retention pond, we shouldn't wait too long on that. Just get it done. The other thing is, I drive by there about once a week. Whoever's mowing is not mowing to the west end of that parking lot. The one we're talking about. The ditch and all of that is not mowed. They're mowing the rest of the nature center, but it's kind of like they're ignoring the ditch in that end of the lot. So I think I don't know if we owe them money for that, if that wasn't included, but.
At this point, I would say it's not included in their
Yeah,
contract.
it really
so.
should be done. It's gonna fill in with all kinds of, things we don't want growing there, including.
I do believe the city comes and does that.
They might do some of it, but not all of it. We've trimmed it out already. We've taken our Bobcat over there with the flail mower, I like to call it, and cut it down. And we can continue doing that, but I think it'd be better just to get the contractor to do it.
Yes.
Right. So the ditch on the school side looks the same as the ditch on the south side of Willow Road. So it's really more against, what's the road to the west of the school?
Colgate.
Colgate.
Colgate. So it's really more against Colgate Road that it's not being cut at all.
I'll give them a call and see how much it charges to take care of that. And it may just be involve going out there once a week and weed whacking if they can't cut it with a machine, so.
Well, I think it's more than
Manny, do you
weed
have something?
whacking.
That's what I was gonna ask, because if we're working on savings, to see what the price was, because if we can do it, obviously, on our own, then something to
Absolutely.
think about, as opposed to constantly keeping on adding it to a contractor.
Bob?
Thank you. I thought the Village of Richfield had restrictions on the use of that lot as is. And they wanted us to blacktop it, and then once we did that, they wanted us to put a gate on it for controlled access. I heard that.
I will have to talk to them and confirm one way or the other that whether we can use it or not. I don't see any reason why we couldn't based on my conversations with them, but again, that's the inspector, that's not the board.
Got it.
Yeah, once the planning board gets a hold of it, that all might change.
Oh, I know. A second question, because C.D. Smith put this in as part of the construction, the presumption is that C.D. Smith would have to remove it if we did not have a long-term use for it. So I would love to find out what that dollar amount that they will credit us for to keep it as is, because that's direct bottom line profit for them. And if we decide not to use that, they would have to come in and remove it.
I'll contact Josh and ask him.
Yeah, that could be helpful.
Next on the report is Rockfield. Rockfield is looking to put a sign and some plantings in. They want to put the plantings in the highlighted area. I did receive a little feedback on the sign at this point after the report was made up. They are looking to put the sign in front of, it looks like pretty much like the middle part of the east side of the building. So it'd be the thin green space right about in the middle, and it's going to just be I haven't gotten a lot of details. I'm thinking it's a 4x6 Rockfield School sign is what they're looking to put up. And it would be made out of wood.
Didn't there used to be a sign there?
There actually used to be a sign out by the road. And we took the sign down and we put a sign up on the building. It's actually on the north side of the building.
Okay, so they want to put the sign back by the road.
They want to put a sign in the front of the school. More towards, in front of the cafeteria on the east side, middle of that wall. Because the diagram actually is facing north to the top.
So kind of like where the parking lot entrance would be?
More towards the staff parking lot area, middle of the staff parking lot. Rockfield Road runs east and west, and it's on the north side of the building. They want to put it, basically, you see the 120 in the cafeteria?
Right.
Go directly to the right of that, and that's approximately where they want to put it. So that's facing the staff parking lot.
What would the purpose of that be?
PTA hasn't given me any explanation on it. It first came to me early last week.
I mean, you only see it when you're in the parking lot.
I agree.
I think you want it out by the road, don't you?
I'd agree.
Like all of our other signs?
Well, we have the main sign on the building itself.
Right. Anybody else have any comments?
What kind of sign is it? Is it illuminated?
Nope, it's just a wooden sign from this, I haven't gotten any real details from them. They just forwarded this to me, I believe, last week, Monday. I made the report on Wednesday so it could get to you. I think on Friday I received information that it was gonna be a 4x6 sign. I did ask the question, okay, what are you looking to have on the sign? Do you have any drawings of it? So more information on the sign would be forthcoming if they decide to proceed with it.
Okay.
And then my other question real quick is, in the past with the building committee, when anytime there was anything done in any of the buildings, they would have to fill out a specific form and submit it to this committee with the full details on it. Why aren't we seeing that? We
Yeah.
haven't seen anything for that for a long time.
That's why I said the last presentation we got from Amy Bell was well done. It gave us all the information we needed. So yeah, I would take it back to them and say, we need more information. And give us all the details, the reasons why, what it's gonna look like. You know, if it's a piece of 4x6 plywood, I don't know that I want that out there. It serves some purpose that it has to look, you know,
I have to agree.
look
But
decent.
Brian, I think we should still go back to that form. Have them submit the form that they should do, then Don doesn't have to go chasing around for all that. and put
Oh,
it in his
absolutely.
report. It's already submitted, it's completed. If they want the work done, they'll do it the way it needs to be done.
Do we have a formal form that Billy Joe?
Rick had it, so I would have
Absolutely.
to look and see if I can't track it down.
Yeah, I would
Forward it
go
all.
that route. That would be helpful.
Okay. I'd have to agree, I think. It'd be start a good procedure for things coming forward.
Absolutely.
That's all I had for that part of the report.
Mark,
It's done the procedure, so we're just asking people to follow the procedure that we've been asking all along.
Yep.
That's all, just to restate it, I don't know, we should be following that, and we want the school signs to look similar or identical in all the schools, to look cohesive in the district, so I'm not sure if just the sign in front of the location of it was even.
I was kind of surprised when they were
It's kind
asking.
of like a thought from out there. Certainly needs to be more vetted before it comes before them, both.
Yes. This was just an FYI that they were looking to do this, and that more information will be coming forward.
Sounds good. Okay, unfinished business, discussion possible action on Fund 41 capital projects list, 5-year plan.
All right, what you first have is the district project list. I've added a few items to the list. The list does continue to grow at this point in time. Looking at this list, though, the 5-year plan is in a spreadsheet form. And starting out with year 2021 or 21-22, even at the list that was already there, we're already at $500,000. You look at the following year, we're at $564,000. And I haven't gotten too much into the next three years on it yet. I still have to categorize and add them to the spreadsheet. The idea of the spreadsheet then is if, when we determine which projects are gonna be done, we can either move them to the previous next year, or if we determine something doesn't make it in this year, the year that it's proposed to be done, it can be moved on to another, delayed to the next year if needed. I also I received a 5-year plan from our roofing consultant, Ryan Oswani from CCG, and that's also attached so that you know where the roofing numbers came from. This is only a draft form at this point.
And these are
in
just
time.
estimates, just past knowledge that we're going by. So the prices could generally
Some of this is
increase.
estimates, some of these are actual numbers.
Okay. And we don't have anything in Fund 41 for this year, so we're looking at next year, starting fiscal July, correct?
Correct, that's why it starts at 2021, 2022.
Right. Okay. I like the way this is laid out. It makes a lot of sense, and I think I'd like the $500,000 number for Fund 41 going forward. I think that's a good goal to achieve. That seems to be about where we were. You know, how sometimes we're higher to make up for slower years. So if we can keep it consistent, I think that would be helpful as well.
That's kind of where I was trying to shoot for, with the $500,000 mark each year.
Yep. I mean, with the size of our buildings and the increased size of our buildings now, I think that number may increase, you know, in 10, 15, 20 years as these buildings, the newer buildings start to age. So that number might go up, but I think for now, that's probably a pretty good number. Anyone else? Mark?
It's good, Don, I like that, the overall list you've been filling in, more solid numbers. First it was just kind of a short list, and then that you've been kind of filling it in with more specifics along the way. That's helpful. And then the roofing plan too, shows up here in the year-by-year plan.
Thanks.
And I think if there's a budget crunch, taking a good look at the roof, and if we can delay it 1 year, typically we can do that. You know, if it's not as bad as we think it is, and I know we're doing that this year, so that's something to take a look at. Just everything that we do, make sure it's, you know, if we have to bump years to get the priority up a little bit higher, I think that can be done as well.
Yes.
Some things are gonna be needed sooner than we think. Okay, anything else?
That's all I had.
I like the 5-year plan, that makes a lot of sense. That looks good. Okay, we have no new business, I will entertain final motion. Mark seconds, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 6:59.
And we'll start the board meeting at 7:05.